Oh, I loved it. It was great. I think Mike schemed it up really well too, only because we were getting the ball out quick, and it was kind of hard, I think, for their D line to get a feel with their rush patterns, and then also get a feel of where the spot was for the quarterback. So, we're moving spots in the back there and not just catching the ball and dropping back. So I thought they did really well.
The Miami Dolphins beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday, and in doing so, I bet there's a lot of Miami Dolphins fans out there who overlooked this impressive stat. Everyone has been criticizing the offensive line, including me. But in Tua Tagovailoa's return, with the utmost need to protect Tua, the offensive line performed in stellar fashion. When you look at the box score, two things jump off the page. Obviously, not having any turnovers is a really big deal. However, in this game, with Tua Tagovailoa coming back after missing 3 games with a concussion, the offensive line didn't give up a single sack. And in fact, the Pittsburgh Steelers barely laid a hand on Tua Tagovailoa all game. And they barely gave up any hurries. Tua threw 35 passes, and he was barely touched all game. How important is this? Well, in the previous 6 games, the Dolphins had given up 15 sacks. And against the Steelers, nada, zippo, no sacks. After digging into the film, I absolutely loved the scheme that Mike McDaniel put in place. It allowed him to keep Tua safe, except for when he decided to run, and it took the pressure off the offensive line. Here's what Tua had to say about that.
Oh, I loved it. It was great. I think Mike schemed it up really well too, only because we were getting the ball out quick, and it was kind of hard, I think, for their D line to get a feel with their rush patterns, and then also get a feel of where the spot was for the quarterback. So, we're moving spots in the back there and not just catching the ball and dropping back. So I thought they did really well.
I pulled the tape of all 35 passes that Tua made on Sunday night, and the film was conclusive. I had to give the big guys up front some serious props. After riding them all season long, Sunday night, they performed at a really, really high level. Every single one of them. And as Mike McDaniel says, the tape proves everything.
The lessons that is almost weekly, that really close to all of my fundamental pillars of belief of the game of football is, whatever people want to say, we're defined by our tape.
This video isn't about Tua. It's not about the rustiness that he showed. It's not about shaking off the cobwebs. That's going to come. If this offensive line can perform like this, they're going to score 50 points on Sunday. Seeing how this scheme worked, the offensive line must have got together, sat down with Applebaum and McDaniel and said, we need to do this a lot more. I'm not going to show you all 35 pass plays because it'll take an hour. I don't want to waste your time because it was kind of redundant. These guys kicked ass all game. Nobody got near Tua Tagovailoa all game long. You don't have to believe me. Go look at yourself. But as I watched these 35 plays over and over, I think I watched them 3 times, I was amazed how well they performed. The offensive line obviously made a conscious decision. We're going to protect Tua. Let's go to the tape and I'll show you some of these plays and you can judge for yourself. In this video, I'm going to do things a lot differently than I normally would do with a breakdown. And normally when I did a breakdown, I would have the animations, the hovering circles, the arrows. I don't want to draw your attention to anything other than the 5 guys you see in front of Tua and Tua. I don't really care about people blitzing. I don't care about the edge rushers are coming in. I don't care about the motion. I want you to focus on Tua and look at the amount of time he has to throw. So in this first play, here comes a snap. He drops back. Look at that. That is a classic NFL pocket. There is no one near Tua. And then when he throws the ball, he's got plenty of time. He may make an errant pass. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this offensive line absolutely shielding Tua. All right, so in this play, again, don't focus on emotion. Don't focus on anything other than the pocket and Tua. Ball is snapped here. Guy goes in motion. Look at everyone move to the right based upon the play action. and there's nobody near Tua when he lets this ball go. I mean, there's just nobody near him. Great play action, great quick scheming by Mike McDaniel. Watch this one. This one, I believe, is the throw to Gesicki where it's incomplete. Watch what happens here. Tua gets a snap. Boom. Look at that. You could drive a dump truck through that pocket. You could drive a tractor trailer through that pocket. There's nobody near Tua. I think it surprised him as to how much time he was going to have in the pocket. I mean, when he gets this ball snapped to him, the entire world opens up in front of him. There's Connor Williams getting ready to snap him the ball. He snaps him the ball, and boom, look at that. You don't see that in an NFL game. You don't see a quarterback have that much time to throw. He makes the throw. I think he could have thrown it sooner. I think he could have thrown it to a different direction, but that's not what's important. What's important was there's no one near Tua. Now, this is the touchdown play. Now, watch what happens here. Somebody does get in. Tua calmly steps up and finds Mostert. Here we go. We got motion. Look at that pocket. Nobody there. Guys running around all over the place. Nobody near Tua. He takes a little bit of time. There's still nobody near him at all. And he has time to step up, and he finds Mostert for the touchdown. Another play. Again, focusing on the interior lineman and Tua. Here comes a snap. Boom. Play action. Everybody bites on it. But there is one guy I want you to take a look at here. Watch what Alec Ingold does to this guy on the outside. Bam! Drops him. By doing that, look at where Tua is. Look at where he is when he throws that ball. There's literally nobody around him. Okay, here we go again. Look at the 5 interior linemen. This guy Shell, Hunt, Connor Williams, even Eichenberg played well. And of course, Teron Armstead. Here comes the snap. Look at that. Nobody anywhere near Tua. Are you getting what I'm saying with the theme of this? This is why I didn't have to do any animations or arrows or anything else, because you can clearly see what I'm talking about. There's nobody near Tua. I have to believe he was surprised at what he was seeing. Here we go again. Next play. Same thing. Comes in motion. Look at that. I'm not showing you the same play over and over again, but I'm showing you the same result over and over again. Tua has as much time as he needs to. He may be making the wrong throws. He may be throwing behind people. Those cobwebs are going to get dusted off. But my goodness, unbelievable. Here we go again. Here's a snap. He drops back to pass. I think he threw that too early. I don't think he's used to seeing himself having that much time in the pocket. There was nobody near him. All right, on to the next play. This is getting redundant, isn't it? Look at this. These guys are protecting Tua like I've never seen them do it all season long. There is nobody around Tua. He's able to sit back and figure out who he's going to throw to. Now looking from the other direction, here comes another play. Play action. Everybody moves. Look at that. I'm not making this up. You guys can clearly see there's no one near Tua. This quick pass scheme is what has made this offensive line successful. I think they love it. Boom, here we go. Ball snapped. Tua's back to pass. There's nobody there. There's nobody near him. These guys adjusted to this new scheme. And I know if Pittsburgh ran the perfect defense, but they are rushing 4 people here, and he had plenty of time to just toss that. Here they've got, I don't know, looks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people up on the line. Guy comes in motion. Defense moves with him, and he throws it. This is the one thing I think Mike McDaniel is going to adjust to this weekend to let Tua know. You don't have to, look, here comes Gesicki over the middle. You don't have to throw it real early. You've got time. I don't think he realized he had this time. Again, play action. Look at that. Teron Armstead eats that guy up. No one near him. Snap. Comes in. No one near him. Snap. Back to pass. Nobody even close. I mean, Joe Montana didn't get this kind of protection. I mean, nobody near him. Here's the next play. He steps up from this guy and decides to take off. Now, this is the one where, I think he slides on this one, but He didn't have to leave. Let's back it up. He's in the pocket. Let's go back to the snap so you can see where the line of scrimmage was, and all he had to do is basically step up. Here we go. Look at that. If he just stepped up, he didn't have to run. He thought he had to run because playing behind this offensive line, his instinct said protection had broken down. I need to get out of here. But he had plenty of time. He could have just set up right there and looked for somebody deep. But he gave up on the play and he took off for the run. That's just instinctive. Hey, guys, the offensive line broke down. I need to take off. Here we go. The next play. Tua's got the snap. Offensive line is already forming that pocket. Look for yourselves right there. What do you see? I see Tua standing in the middle of the field with nobody around him. Did you notice this during the game? Probably not. I didn't until I just went through and looked at the tape. Here we go again. It's the same old story. He was wide open all night long. No pressure whatsoever. 4 guys rushing. He's back to pass. Not being touched. Not even threatened. He has more time than he's used to. And it just keeps happening over and over. There's nobody near him. Pocket's perfect. He gets rid of the ball. Okay, here we go again. Gets the snap, ready to pass. Nobody near him. He didn't have to hurry this ball. He hurried it and didn't get complete. The next play, same thing. Nobody near Tua. I'm applauding this offensive line. This was an amazing job of blocking. Look at this one. This one amazes me. Play action, comes back, and watch his feet here. He doesn't realize, you can tell on this play, he doesn't realize he has enough protection to sit and wait for the right guy to get open. Watch his feet. Watch how he does a stutter step right there. He got worried. Hey, man, this pocket's got to be breaking down. I never have this much time. I never have this much time to sit and look for a receiver, have counting in my head, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1. Oh, man, I what's going on? And he bails on the play. Over and over and over. Look at this protection. Look at that. Over and over. Look at this. Unbelievable play by the Miami Dolphins offensive line. Throws it underneath. Here we go again. Okay, so he's ready to take the snap. He looks over to his right. He looks over to his left. And he decides to unload it quickly over to his left. But that's because he didn't realize how much time he had. If he knows how much time he has, he's going to find someone he can throw to. Again, over and over. Look at that. There's nobody near him. I went through all of these plays very quickly and went, my God, this is unbelievable. There's nobody threatening him, and he's throwing the ball, and he's not connecting some of these passes because I think instinctively he didn't realize he had the time. Look at this. Wow. Unreal. You can go through all these plays. This one just cracked me up. There's nobody near him. And look at Robert Hunt way outside on an island out there just waiting for the defender to show up. And meanwhile, Tua can just throw it to anybody he wants to. Remember, this only time I really saw Chase Edmonds stay in was one time. This is the deep ball. He went to Tyreek. He looked over to his left. He went to Tyreek. It was double teamed. Jalen Waddle was wide open on the other side of the field because he threw it too soon. He gave up on the play, not knowing he had so much time to throw it. I think if the offensive line can give Tua this kind of time against the Detroit Lions, we may score 50 points. The fog is out of his head. He'll dust off the cobwebs. And this is just unbelievable. Nothing but applause for this offensive line. Great job, guys. I'm telling you, if the offensive line can keep this up, the Dolphins are going to win a lot more games. I'm not sure what kind of defensive scheme Brian Flores and Mike Tomlin came up with, but man, this didn't work. Offensive line dominated. So Barry, why didn't the Dolphins score 50 points in this game? That's obvious. Tua was rusty. But I have no doubt that those cobwebs are going to get dusted off, and this guy will be ready this Sunday. But in closing, the big guys up front have to be elated with their performance and understand this is the kind of performance that makes championship teams. After seeing all these plays, Tell me what you think. Did the Miami Dolphins offensive line perform at a top level? Do you think they can sustain that for a few more games or the rest of the season? Will Tua dust off his cobwebs? I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I'd love to hear what you have to say. People call me a Tua honor and a fanboy, but I'm an offensive lineman at heart, and this really, really made me feel good inside, seeing these guys dominate the Pittsburgh Steelers the way they did. And don't forget, WinDolphinsTickets.com. We're going to give away 2 tickets to the Cleveland Browns game in November, and you could win. Talk to you soon. Fins up.
Is anybody catching on to this Barry guy?